All right, welcome. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most incredible pieces of engineering you own, and it's right there at the end of your arm, the human wrist. I mean, just think about it for a second. Everything you do with your hands, typing, grabbing something, waving hello, all of it hinges literally on your wrist. So how in the world does this tiny little part of our body pull off such a huge and complicated job? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down.
You see, the wrist is way more than just a simple hinge. It's juggling a bunch of crucial jobs all at once. It's giving your hand an amazing range of motion, but it also has to be stable enough to take on weight. It lets you adapt and position your hand in, like, a million different ways. And get this, it's also the setup man for your thumb, getting it in the perfect spot for that uniquely powerful and precise human grip.
So, what's the secret sauce? What's the engine driving all this? Well, here's the kicker. Your wrist isn't just one joint. Nope, it's actually a super clever two-joint system. Let's take a look at how this thing's actually built.
That's right, it's what's known as a joint complex. And there are two main players, two stars of the show here. The radiocarpal joint, that's the one connecting your forearm to your wrist, and the midcarpal joint, which is, you guessed it, right in the middle of all those little wrist bones.
And this is where it gets really cool, how they work together as a team. You can think of the radiocarpal joint as the heavy lifter, the main event that gives you those big sweeping movements. But then you've got the midcarpal joint, and it's the fine-tuner. It's making all the tiny, subtle gliding moves that give you all that incredible precision.
Okay, to really get this, we've got to look at the bones themselves. It all starts with the forearm, which builds this perfect little socket for the hand to nestle right into.
Now this socket has a super fancy, technical name, the antebrachial glenoid cavity. But don't worry about the jargon. All it really means is there's this curved-in surface at the end of your forearm, and it's shaped just right to hold your hand. So how's this socket actually built? It's pretty amazing. It's a two-part deal. First, you've got the end of your radius bone. That's the bigger forearm bone on your thumb side, and it forms the main solid part of the socket. Then, a flexible little cushion, technically called the articular disc, comes in and fills the rest of the space on the pinky side. It's this awesome mix of hard bone and soft tissue working in perfect harmony. So you've got the socket. What's the ball? Well, that would be the carpal condyle. And it's not just one bone. It's actually the first row of your little wrist bones, the scaphoid, lunate, and trichetral, all huddled together to form this one smooth, rounded surface that fits perfectly into that socket we just talked about. Okay, so bones fitting together is a great start. But what stops them from just falling apart when you're moving around? That's the job of the wrist's very own support crew, a whole complex network of ligaments.
And here's something you really got to understand. There are no big muscles crossing right over the wrist joint to hold it steady. It's kind of crazy, right? Its stability is completely passive. It is 100% relying on this amazing, intricate web of ligaments to do all the heavy lifting and keep things in place.
I love this way of thinking about it. These ligaments are like strong but flexible guide wires on a bridge. They're not just passively holding things together, they're actively directing traffic, telling the wrist, you can move this way, but nope, not that way.
So, who are the main players in this ligament team? Well, there are 5 key groups. You've got the palmar ligaments on the palm side, the dorsal ligament on the back of your hand, and then a pair of collateral ligaments running down each side.
And their jobs are actually pretty straightforward. The ligaments on the front, the palmar ones, they stop your wrist from bending backward too far, hyperextending. The one on the back, the dorsal ligament, does the opposite. It stops you from bending forward too far. And those collateral ligaments on the sides, they're the ones that keep you from waving your hand too far side to side. It's just a perfect system of checks and balances.
All right, we've got the bones, we've got the ligaments. Now let's put it all together and see the magic happen. Let's talk about movement.
Basically, your wrist can move in two main directions. Think of it kind of like a joystick. You've got forward and back, that's called flexion and extension, and you've got side to side, that's adduction and abduction, or, just waving.
And the range of motion here is pretty wild. When you bend your wrist forward, bringing your palm towards your forearm, that's flexion, you can get a whopping 80 degrees of movement. That's a lot.
Going the other way, extension, bending the back of your hand up, is almost as impressive, at about 70 degrees. That's the movement you need to do something like a push-up or plant your hands on the ground.
Now for that side-to-side wave. If you tilt your hand towards your pinky finger, that's adduction. You've got a pretty decent range, about 45 degrees.
But try tilting it the other way, towards your thumb. See how it doesn't go as far? That's abduction, and you only get about 15 degrees of movement there.
And it's for a simple reason. The bones on that side literally bump into each other and stop it from going any further.
So here's a quick recap of all that. This little summary shows you the main moves, which way they go, and about how far they go. It's a great little cheat sheet for just how capable the wrist really is. But there's always a but, isn't there? This incredible mobility, this amazing complex design, well, it comes with a trade-off. The very things that make the wrist so brilliant also make it kind of fragile and really prone to injury.
And that's why knowing all this stuff is so important. Think about common wrist problems, sprains, fractures, things you hear about all the time like tendinitis or carpal tunnel syndrome. Every single one of those issues ties directly back to the intricate anatomy we've just been walking through.
So yeah, this complex joint is involved in literally everything you do. It's working its magic whether you're typing an email or painting a picture. It is a constant, incredible piece of engineering we carry around with us every single day. So the real question is, what are you going to do with it next?